All right, well, welcome back to Happy Hour with Heather and Guest. I'm joined by Greg from the band False Gods. Good to have
What
you
up?
on the program.
What up, y'all? Thank you for having me.
Of course, it's fun. It's funny. We spoke uh, about 3 years ago. I had a different
Oh
podcast.
my God, I thought it was you. Yeah.
Yeah,
Holy
yeah, it
shit.
was a different.
That's when you were just first starting,
Well, it was. Yeah,
right?
I mean, that was an old show that I'm not doing anymore. This is a new one,
Right,
but
right.
yeah, we were talking. We spoke at the beginning of April. It was just after the pandemic had kind of settled in,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because you guys were just, I think you had just released, um, hold on, I had it written down. Why can't I find it?
No
Um,
symmetry.
yeah,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah, the
What was
first
the one that came out in 2019?
Oh my God, the that was the EP, the Serpent and the Ladder.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, we were going
Yeah,
to
yeah,
talk about
yeah,
the
yeah.
Servant and the Ladder.
Wow,
Um,
holy shit, dude.
yeah, yeah. So I know since then, uh, yeah, so then that came out. I think that was coming out in April, later that month, and then you released No Symmetry, Only Delusions in October,
Yeah,
and then
wow.
last year Neurotopia. So it's been a busy few years for you guys.
Indeed, yeah. Putting out a lot of music,
That's great.
playing a lot.
And recently you just put out a split with, and I hope I pronounced their name correctly. Is it Abiuro?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I know they're from Japan, I think.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah, I listened to the two tracks off the single that you guys put out, which was uh, Time Poisoning and 0% Success Rate.
Yes. Yes.
So I guess my first question was how did you end up hooking up with this band to put out the split?
They contacted us last year. They have a small label out in Japan. Sorry, I gotta go outside. Uh, and they found the band. They liked us. They were like, we have this little label. We want to do a split. Um, can you do it? And I was like, yeah, fuck yeah. I heard their music. I was like, yeah, let's do it. That's cool. So we made it
That's
happen.
awesome.
Yeah, fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I one of the things I actually was curious about is the type of music that False Gods plays, which is sort of like a doom sludge hardcore type thing. Immediately you go to the New Orleans scene. Like when you think about what are bands, I Hate God, or you go out to California, you think Saint Vitus, you
Sure,
think Melvins.
sure.
But so I was like, who are some other um, like more aside from yourselves, who I feel that's what's always great is to hear bands that like are taking the sound and running with the baton. Like you're taking the handoff from a lot of those bands
Yeah.
and sort of go. So, are there other content like if you're into that sort of music, who are some bands we should know about in the scene?
Oh man, that's a great question, and I'm not the best one to answer
And that's
that.
yeah. I mean, I was curious because I was like, I
uh,
think
so I'm sorry to interrupt you,
no, no,
but
no, go on.
I would say we don't really sound like them, but Sun Rot, who we've played with, they're from New Jersey, big dogs. They just put out a new record. They're phenomenal. I love them. Um, I like this band called, and they just played Roadburn. I don't know if we like are like sound like them, but they're called Body Void. I'm sure everyone on this podcast knows who they are. Um, a couple of our label mates, I feel like, on Seeing Red Records, Faux Hammer is really great. They're it's the different style of doom, but they're phenomenal. We're going to be doing a couple of shows with this band called, I'm going to pronounce it totally wrong, Maharaja, who are also on Seeing Red Records. They're great. They're phenomenal too. Kind of more of our style. God, man, there's so many great bands that do this genre, but do an entirely different take on it. Like we're like a doom metal band mixed with like hardcore and uh, other types of influences. But there's just so much, like, I was just thinking about this today. There's so much like doom. Like doom is like the foundation. There's like industrial doom. There's like gothic doom. There's like the classic doom metal that people know. There's bands like Yob who just kind of do like weird type of shit. Some Nori from Brooklyn. They're kind of like progressive doom metal. Restless Spirit, they're from Long Island. They're like peers of ours, great dudes. They kind of do more of a traditional doom metal, I would say. There's just so much. There's just so much in the genre of doom, but no one really does. Oh, this is going to sound really pretentious. I'm just going to say it. No one's really like doing what we're doing. You know, mixing like the old with like New York hardcore, and then like songs like Time Poisoning, like where it's like, I don't really know how to describe it. I don't really know how to describe what we do. We just kind of take a bunch of different influences from heavy metal and just play it really slow.
Yeah, I would say I would agree with you on everything you just said. It was difficult to come up with like, well, if you like, I mean, I could say if you like these bands, you'll like False Gods, but it would be tough to say they sound like any of these bands in particular.
Yeah, that's kind of to our detriment, I feel like.
Well, I mean, but
whatever. I don't care.
I would say you're absolute, like if you laid out Doom on like a spectrum, I think most people think of Doom, they think, Black Sabbath, sort of like the
Sure.
melodic, more
Yeah.
operatic singing. I think what you guys are doing is much more in your face, hardcore style
Right.
stuff. So if you're looking for more of an aggressive sounding Doom, then that's how I would
Yeah.
characterize it.
We're more high on fire than sleep. That's what I tell people.
Yes, yeah. It's a great. I mean, that's it. That's
Yeah.
the hair. You hit the nail right on the head.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So if you're looking for a doom band that's got hardcore influences, that's more high on fire than sleep, check out any of the full length albums that False Gods put out. But also check out the split they just put out recently. There's a lot of music. So last time we talked, unfortunately, I think you were going to play a show with Come to Grief. Wow. Which we were sort of lamenting didn't. Now, that did eventually happen, I think?
Sure. We eventually played it at the end of 2021 at St. Vitus. Come to Grief, Sun Rot, and then who else played? Not Cadaverette. Oh my god, they're gonna fucking kill me. I forgot who else.
Yeah,
opened. They're from
fun.
Jersey. Jesus.
Yeah, well, no, but I'm glad, because I remember that as the world was sort of falling apart, that was like one of the big missed opportunities, and we both sort of thought that it would eventually happen. But I'm glad it did.
It was a good one.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. So, do you have are there other? I know I think I saw you're going to be playing Baltimore this weekend. You're going to be up in Massachusetts.
We're going to be playing the Grim Reaper Fest with Bongzilla and Ilsa at the Auto Bar, the legendary Auto Bar, and then we're doing a couple of shows around that with Faux Hammer. We were trying to do a whole tour with them, but we couldn't make it happen. Unfortunately, we lost a drummer, so we're just having guys fill in till we get someone permanent. But yeah. So it's cool. We're very excited. Faux Hammer's incredible. They're on Seeing Red Records, and like we're playing Grim Reaper Fest with Bongzilla. I mean, that's probably going to be one of the biggest shows we've played so far. So we're very excited.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad. I mean, I'm glad that not only did you get to make up the date that you
Oh,
didn't play originally, but this sounds like you got a bunch of great dates coming up.
we do. Yes. So I have to mention this. Cowardice. Cowardice is the band that opened the Come to Grief show. They're from New Jersey, peers of ours, in the same sort of vein that we kind of do. They're an incredible band too. So
Okay,
now I feel better about myself.
good. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We can add them. Good. I'm glad you remembered. We can add them to the
Yeah,
list.
yeah. If you like Thou, they have a very like Thou vibe to them. They're
Okay.
incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, that's yeah. I mean, the what's great for me is I'm not as familiar with a lot of the contemporary bands that are more on the aggressive side.
Yeah,
So
Thou is definitely one of them. Obviously, Primitive Man,
yeah, yeah,
that kind of a thing. Yeah, Thou
yeah.
is
So
phenomenal.
it's cool to kind of like get some suggestions on who to check out.
Have you heard? They're not like a doom band per se, but have you heard Chat Pile?
I don't think so.
Chat Pile is like the new thing. I would highly recommend Chat Pile. I would, I live in Brooklyn, so a lot of the hipsters out here love them, but they're legit. They're a fucking
Gotcha.
phenomenal band. Yeah,
Cool.
absolutely.
That sounds good. Yeah, I will check them out.
Mm.
And it's it's I listened to the split, but I still need to sort of go back and do a deep dive on Neurotopia because that's the album that I haven't heard yet.
Oh, okay.
I went back and listened to Serpent and the Ladder, once that was released,
Cool.
but and then No Symmetry, Only Delusions. But yeah, Neurotopia. So it'll be good to kind of go back and revisit because you need like it's great to listen to some doom that's really subdued and sort of more melodic. And then
Yes.
sometimes you just need something that's in your face. And like, I remember Wino was once asked about St. Vitus's music, and he said it gets right in your chest. It gets you like right in the gut. And I was like, okay, yeah, that's
It's
a
true.
pretty accurate description. So
It's very accurate. Yeah.
if you need if you're looking for music that gets in your body, then I would say False Gods will grab you by the shirt lapel. And,
Thank you.
yeah. Well, because you need that you can't. There are moments where you need that either if you're going through something or you just want to have a good time and get some energy out. You need music that's symbolic of that. So I feel like that's what you guys do really well.
Thank you. I appreciate the kind words, man. That's
Sure.
thank you so much.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that things have worked out. At least you've managed to play shows and record music and keep trucking.
Oh yeah.
And that's great. And you got a show coming up with Bongzilla and Faux Hammer, and
we're going to
sure
be on. We're going to be on tour for the entire summer. I mean,
okay, perfect.
We are right after this tour. We're doing 5 dates with Fat Ash and Cadaverette in the Northeast. After that's going to be 5 days in May. Then we're doing like a week with Guts and this other band, Hollow Leg. They're doing a couple dates with us. We're also going to be making an appearance at the Maryland Doom Fest.
Nice.
So that'll be cool. In July, we're going to be doing 4 dates with Replicant and Reeking Aurora, who just put out a record on Profound Lore Records. They're incredible. They're incredible. Replicant's more like a death metal band, so we're really excited about that. Gotcha. And at the end of July, we're going to be playing the Ohio Doom Fest.
Okay.
Well. So
the whole summer you're going to be on tour.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds more. We're doing like Weekend Warrior shit. It sounds more. It sounds like we're more busy than we are, but we're trying to get out there as much as we can.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. I mean, now that things have sort of settled down enough where you can do that,
Sure.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
absolutely. The second things opened right back up. I mean, we
Yeah,
hit it hard as we've hit it harder than we ever have.
that's great. Yeah,
So,
I'm sure it was a welcome reception from the fans. So,
yeah, yeah, not too bad.
so are you guys also working on new music, or are you focusing mostly on touring right now?
That's a good question. We are in the midst of finding a permanent drummer.
Okay.
So most of these tours that we're going to be doing will have guys just kind of subbing and filling in. So after the last tour, after Ohio Doomed, we're going to be writing a new record. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we started writing one or two songs, but once all the touring is done and once we've had someone permanent, a new record will commence. Definitely.
Cool.
I'm adamant about releasing something almost every year now.
Nice.
Whether it's
Yeah.
a split or a record, an EP, whatever it is. That's the way. For a band like us in our position, we can't go away for too long. You get forgotten about. So, and then I also have so much during COVID. That's all I did was just sit and write. So I have so much material that I feel like is backlog that we're going to be putting out records for the foreseeable future. So yeah.
Well, as a fan, that's music to my ears. So
Good.
I'm glad
Sweet.
that you've got a lot of music coming. I'm glad you'll be out there touring. And if people want to find you, I know you're on social media. It's just False Gods.
Yep.
So people
on
can find out.
Instagram, we're all we have a TikTok, we have
Right.
a Facebook.
They can find where you're going to be playing
yes.
on Bandcamp and stuff like that. So
yes, absolutely. That's
awesome. Well, I wish you all the best. Good luck on the foreseeable tours, and
thank you.
I'm excited to hear some new music and some old music.
Thank you, and I'm so happy for your success, man. I'm happy you're still doing this.
Thank you. Yeah,
it's great. It's great to see.
Good luck, and we will be in touch.
Thank you, pal.
All right, take care.